SatAm Episode 2, Sonic Boom. Oh, that's an unfortunate name in retrospect. We start out in Robotropolis where a flying machine goes behind a closing door, goes down an elevator, and rolls along the floor. It says all secure, so then another secure bot rolls away. Then Sonic runs around nearby with Antoine and some guy I don't care about, and he tells them to hide from the security drones. Sally, in her good design, comes out of hiding. Sonic tells Antoine that if any bots show up, he has to give them the signal, and he doesn't let him ask any questions before leaving, which I don't blame him for. Sally says she plans to do some hacking. She'll break the access code, getting to the mainframe computer, and reprogram the launch, all using Nicole. Okay, so stop talking as if you're the one doing the reprogramming, Sally. Anyone could do that if she was holding Nicole. I feel sorry for Nicole. Sally's getting all the credit for her work just because she's organic. It's odd that we haven't been told where Nicole even came from yet. It's ignoring the elephant in the room. I hope the explanation is simply rotor major. And in the present day, thanks. If she's from the future, then I have to wonder why she doesn't tell everyone the future, other than spoilers meta logic. Some security drones show up nearby, and Sally sees her father's nickname for her, Bean, in the hacking magic field. So that's kind of amusing. We have a character named Bean, and Bean was Sally's nickname for some reason. So she thinks if she keeps hacking, she might find out where her father is. Well, she's desperate. Antoine leans on something and immediately falls over and gets spotted by security drones, and Sonic notices. So Sally has to leave and go with Antoine while Sonic goes to distract the security drones and run away from them. Why doesn't he just spin dash towards them at Sonic speed and completely obliterate them? This is a common problem with the show. I guess their metal is really that tough that even an attack at over 600 miles per hour won't destroy it. I mean, Robotnik is used to dealing with Sonic after all. Antoine says to Sonic that it wasn't his fault because the idiot who got left behind in Robotropolis had told him to relax, so he leaned against the wall. Then Sally is a complete idiot because she thinks Antoine will be able to protect her in the place that she wants to go to find her father, a dark swamp. She even grabs his arm like they're dating, which is sweet. I mean, it's nice to see him getting some love, but still, isn't Sally supposed to be smart? If she's not, then what's so great about her treating Sonic like she's smarter than him? And I never liked the back and forth between Sonic and Sally, where Sonic barely says a word and then Sally says a little thing like she's being clever, like here. Then we see some brief filler between Robotnik and Snively until the guy who was kidnapped is interrogated by Robotnik, threatened with torture if he doesn't tell him where Knothole is. Okay, so why was he even in the story and part of the previous mission? In universe, I mean. Were they rescuing him from a roboticizer? Because in a meta sense, this boring character only existed to get kidnapped, which feels like lazy writing. Then Sonic just stands there and watches the swap bot go into an elevator with the guy, and only spin dashes into the elevator after he's gone, and jumps super high somehow to eventually get to his cell. At least it's a little justified because he's bouncing off the walls, but the Chaos Emeralds would really come in handy at times like this to explain stuff like this better. The guy tells him that Robotnik knows Sally's headed for the Dark Swamp. So, did he torture him successfully into telling him that? Wait, I just noticed, where's Antoine's sword? He's totally worthless without it, and he didn't start out that helpful to begin with. Antoine gets startled, though Sally at least asks if he's okay. Antoine wastes my time with an overly long gag where he lies that he just has a cold. Why does he even bother with this? Shouldn't he know that they all know the truth? Nicole then magically knows something about a prison that makes Sally panic. Sonic sees some footprints in the swamp and goes after them, and Snively sees him on camera footage. I know it's pronounced Snively, but I'm used to saying Snively. Snively sounds stupid to me. A flying machine gets launched, and Sally reaches Iron Lock. According to Nicole, since she knows that apparently, it was built on 1543 and abandoned 100 years ago. So SatAm takes place in 1643 then. That's different from the 3200s like in the comic. I guess it makes sense, there was still a King Acorn after all. But if this place was abandoned that long ago and somehow not taken apart for scrap metal, like torn down to make way for other buildings, Then why did Sally recognize it? Why would she know about it at all? Sally and Antoine walk along a rickety bridge, where Sally is braver than Antoine, regularly insisting on continuing with the adventure, and they take forever to get the idea to run and jump towards a ledge, grabbing it just in time before it breaks, when I would have ran immediately. Antoine helps pull her up. He at least apologizes for being a worrywart, but then he kisses her hand against her will and complains about being empowered. It's sweet to see that Sally isn't telling him to stop. So it's not really against her will, she appreciates it as a friend thing. But I can't relate to that at all. Then Sally, an iron lock, finds a piece of her father's cloak. Wouldn't that be a cape? That's unique for a king to wear a cloak and not a cape. Antoine puts his hand on her shoulder since she's sad. A door closes and startles Antoine to jumping into Sally's arms. At least she doesn't let him go rudely to fall to the ground, like in the comic. She's certain that her father used to be in a room, and Sonic startles Antoine into jumping to the top of a bookshelf. Wow, he can jump really high. He's more useful than he thinks. If only he didn't need to be scared to jump that high. Sally goes to a computer and uses Bean as a password to get a message from her father. Sadly, he didn't really get to finish the message. Sally is convinced that because of this, her father must still be alive. She's deep in denial. That doesn't guarantee he's alive. Then it turns out the computer gives them access to all the maps of Robotropolis. Well, that was convenient. Sally tells Nicole to transfer it to a holographic disc, but just because a rock from the ceiling falls onto the keyboard of the computer, it ruins their plans somehow. That was mean of the ceiling to decide to crumble. Right now, of all times. Well, I guess it's because the prison was abandoned because it's unstable structure. So they fall into a bunch of mud in the sewers. At least I hope it's mud. They get rid of the mud from their bodies really quickly, and then they get threatened by a monster with one eye. I guess that's like the mutates of the comic. Why doesn't Sonic immediately spin dash at this guy? Instead, he tells Sally and Antoine to grab his backpack and give him the ring, so he runs with it and makes the monster run into a wall. It turns out the monster is actually a robot with only a suit or fake organic skin. And when Sally asks Sonic how he knew it was a robot, he just says a hedgehog always knows, coming off like a creator's pet, instead of just saying he assumed it was a robot because they always fight robots. How could he have possibly known that for absolute sure? Also, I think the rings increasing his speed thing makes sense now with the boost in mind, in retrospect. He's using the rings to get a boost going. It's just confusing because it doesn't look like he has a boost, because it's not like there's a blue aura surrounding him. Sally says that the bots are history, and when Sonic can't find the civilian in his cell, he runs away and goes off a cliff, reuniting with Sally. Some machines are sent after him, but Sonic has a machine of its own. Then Robotnik panics and tells Snively to recall them, and the flying machines are destroyed. Wait, what? How? Was Sonic using a machine of rotors that... Oh, wait! It took me a while to figure out that Sonic was pointing a camera of Robotnik's towards some flying machines he built, and then he panicked and thought those flying machines were coming after his own. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Maybe he thought that Rotor reprogrammed some flying machines of his. But then why did the machines blow up instead of retreating like Robotnik wanted? That was an alright episode, some minor nitpicks aside. The sneaky espionage kept me engaged, and I'm always interested in what exactly Nicole will do with her omnipotent hacking powers. My big problem with it is how annoying Antoine is. Antoine, why did you even come if you weren't gonna help? He just acts cowardly, and if he's scared, that's fine, but he shouldn't talk then. That just drags the episode out with unfunny feeling that contributes nothing to the plot. Much like he did. I doubt Sally needed him to pull her up that much. She should have been able to climb up on her own. It's annoying that we don't get to see what the king's message even was. Sally wouldn't necessarily be right about assuming her father's still alive, although he probably is for a kid's show. I mean, for all she knew, he could have been killed after making the message. And worst of all, it's not clear what they were even doing there with the civilian guy in the first place.